Hey guys, welcome back. It is December 13th, Monday the 13th, and we are going to address the issue with the gear on the live hydraulic pump. You can see, let's get this fancy light over here. So you can see the gear turns, the shaft does not. Well, I should say the gear turns on the shaft slightly. And then we're also going to take a look at the hydraulic pump, make sure there's no issues, or the, I can't get it right today, the oil pump, make sure there's no issues with that. So what we got to do first thing, take this fold over lock, bend it back, remove the nut, remove the lock, and I'm guessing this gear will just fall right off. So let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, we've got the nut loose, we've got the fold over lock. Well, just by looking at it, I don't like the way it looks. And it is stuck on there somehow. Let me see if I can see down inside there. Yeah, I don't think the shaft is good, because the key, I can watch the key rock back and forth. So I'm gonna have to start I'm going to have to do some messing with this and see if I can't figure out what's going on. Give me a moment. Alright. Well, we had to put the puller on it. And just as I suspected, the keyway in the shaft, I got the gear halfway off and the key just fell out. But the keyway in the shaft is junk, and the keyway in the gear is junk. I don't know if you guys can see down inside there. But probably not. But the far side, so the side on this side of the key, it looks similar to the cam gear. It's all kind of eaten away and smashed away. I don't think you guys can see it, but it's tough to see inside a 1-inch hole with a camera lens. But if you look at the keyway itself on the pump here, I'm trying to get this light to oscillate, but you can see this the lower side of the keyway here is just beaten away. So this pump shaft is bad, the pump drive gear is bad, and one other thing that we did find when we pulled the distributor housing off was this screw had backed itself out. So I don't know if I'm sure there's some type of a key on this drive as well. I don't know if that's been wobbling around, but we might as well try and find out. I've never pulled one of these pumps apart, so I don't really know what I'm looking at here, but let's give it a shot. Alright, so there are 0 videos on YouTube about how these things come apart. So I'm just going to pull the bolts out just to see what happens. I have no idea if this is if there's springs behind this that put it under pressure. Gonna have to change my battery here. Well, it hasn't popped loose yet. All the bolts are the same length, so we don't have to worry about that at all. I don't know. We'll try loosening the screw in the center here. See, this screw was loose when we pulled the distributor drive off. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Oh yeah. Huh. Well, I don't know. I don't know how this comes apart. Let's see if I can get my brass hammer. And we'll just give it a couple light taps. Okay, it looks like we have a series of springs, and there is what was maybe a gasket in here, and another one here. There's an O-ring and an O-ring. There's a whole bunch of small springs here. But they all go in these, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a series of small holes, and that's where all of those springs go. I'm just going to put them all in the cover. That way we don't lose them. Other than that, I really don't have a clue how this comes apart. I don't know if this is this shaft is pressed in to the pump. I really don't have a clue. There's no threaded holes to pull these. These must be brass. There's no threaded holes to pull those. So maybe this shaft is pressed in to place. But the big question is, how is it pressed into place? Is it pressed in from the front, or is it pressed in from the rear? There's a seal around this side, and the part number on that is, it's a CR 8697. Yeah, I have no idea where to go from here. But regardless, this shaft, I don't know if you guys can see that keyway there. It's very severely wallowed out, just like the cam was. And the gear on the cam, like I said, I don't know if you can see that, but let's see if we can get the light on it here. But the bottom side of the keyway here, right, if you can see where the screwdriver is, right in that area, it's all wallowed out. So this gear's junk, this shaft is junk. My guess is we're going to be looking for a new pump. So anyway, I'll do some research to see if we can tear this apart further, but I really have no idea how to get this apart. There's got to be some press fit or something that's, I mean, there's obviously a way to do it. I just don't know what it is. And there's very little movement back and forth on that one. I don't want to really pry on anything because it's all aluminum. This whole cast piece is aluminum. Maybe if I remove this O-ring, that'll help reveal something. Nope. I'm more or less just doing this to see how it comes apart because there's nothing out there for videos or anything. See if there's any wobble in this shaft. Doesn't feel really like there's any. Huh. I wonder what those springs are for, those small springs. I wonder if there's, see if I can get my light in here. Very odd, I guess. I'm not a hydraulic pump expert, so I don't really know what I'm looking at. You know, I just learn as I go. But anyways, I'll do some research and see what I can come up with. Hey guys, it's the next day, and I have not been able to find any information on how to disassemble this pump, the live hydraulic pump that is. So all I've been able to find is that these components, whatever components are in here, are pressed together somehow. I don't know if they're pressed this way or this way. So that's as far as I'm going with this pump. It's pretty much junk anyways because there's no parts available for these. individually, so I can't rebuild it to the best of my knowledge anyway. So with that, we're going to go ahead and pull this oil pump apart quick. We just have to remove this cotter pin, take the filter off, or the screen pickup, and then it's 4 bolts on the bottom plate. Bottom plate comes off, which exposes the gears inside there. We're just going to check it over, check for wear on the bottom of this plate, check for wear in the gears, and check for wear in the drive shaft itself. So let's go ahead and do that. Cotter pins out, pull the screen pickup off. Trying to erase my camera battery here. And this is under pressure, as you saw, that spring pushed it out. We don't have too bad of wear on the plate surface. You can see, if I wipe it off, you can see there's some rings wore into it. We'll probably just lightly, actually this side's got a pretty significant groove wore into it. So we'll probably kiss this on the belt sander just to take it down flush, and then we'll polish it with a piece of fine sandpaper on a sheet of glass. So I'll pull the spring out. Now if you watch Squatch's Super M series, he goes through and talks about how the gears aren't too terrible in this. I don't see any chips or anything like that. Nothing too terrible. We don't have any side-to-side play in the bottom of the pump shaft. And the top of the pump shaft is the same way. There's no play. So I don't think there's any reason to go any further in this pump other than cleaning it. It obviously does need to be cleaned very, very thoroughly because of all the metal shavings that are probably in the pump. We'll resurface this bottom plate here, and that's probably going to be it. So at the end of the day, we need a new or good used hydraulic pump, live hydraulic pump. The oil pump is okay, and at this point we just need to, or Connor just needs to come pick up the engine block, oil pan, front cover and crankshaft and flywheel, and then we can have those things all cleaned out, resurfaced, inspected. The crankshaft needs to be brought to a machine shop and inspected, and we need to determine whether or not it can be ground to an undersized bearing, or if it's too far gone to where it needs to be spray welded and then reground to factory specs. And at that point we can order our engine kit, gasket kit, camshaft and components, live hydraulic pump. Yeah, so we got a ways to go yet, but that's kind of where we're at. Live hydraulic pump, junk. Oil pump seems good. So that's good news. So that's all I've really got for this video. I see my battery's running low, so you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for wrenching with me, and we'll see you in the next one.